Welcome back. Time for News Center. Earlier on, I'd indicated that you're coming back for that interview. That was including, from our sister station, Spice FM, they were interviewing a member of parliament for Kikuyu, also the National Assembly Majority Leader, Kimani Ichung'wah. That interview shall be giving it to you at 10 a.m. But for now, we cross over live and listening to constitutional lawyer Ndegwa Njiru, who's actually talking about the economy in shambles. He's actually supposed to hold the wheels. Let's listen in. To that SMS number that we've been giving you, because we want you to become a property owner, not just that anybody. We want you to be somebody who joins this community in Nakuru, Delight Nakuru. Send the word Nakuru to 20321. Username Investments developing this part of Nakuru. It's in Salga, just 20 minutes from Nakuru CBD, 300 meters from the highway at Salga. Delight Nakuru will be a new estate that will come up there. What they're asking you to do is go and see it. Okay? Just go and see. And then you'll see the plots that they have. You will select your plot. You will seek to pay 799,000 shillings, 80,000 bob deposit, and then repayment within 30 days. And the site visit is any day. But they have these days that they actually take people from Nairobi all the way to Salga and bring them back. This is Wednesday and Saturday. To book your seat in the bus on Saturday, leaving Kencom at 7 a.m. or leaving Nakuru West Side Mall at 8:30 a.m., send the word Nakuru to 20321. That's 20321. They will call you back. You will agree. Hata ukitaka uchukuliwe wayakiwe ni sawa. Mtaweza panga. Wapelekwe Nakuru Salga. Uone shamba. Urudi Nairobi. Next year, jenga.
Wisha.
Then move. Maisha Nairobi is too much. It's too much. Just go and live in Salga.
Easy, like that?
Yes, like that. City is here. Bwana Muga?
Yes, please.
How are you, Bwana?
Thank you.
Yes. Mambo kovyaje?
Mambo's good.
Yeah. Yes. You had a meeting earlier in the morning with...
Yeah, one of these meetings that are not quite what you thought they are. Yes, in fact, you said that even the people you were talking to are fictitious.
Where was the meeting?
Well, the meeting took place here. That's the whole point. The only problem is I wasn't here. But the meeting concluded well.
Who were participants in that meeting?
There are people, I'm trying to remember, because the room was rather crowded. But I remember the two of you. In fact, what made me decide now it was time to come to work and then realize that I wasn't really at work was when you Eric, said that this meeting is now over. Yes, I said, okay. I said, wait,
where am I? Hello, I'm not here.
Ukamuka.
Nikamuka. Okay.
Welcome, brother.
Thank you.
The body has told you what it needed to tell you.
It has told me we have spoken. And
the three of you have agreed.
We have arrived at some clear understanding. Yes.
Those things happen, Bana. You are deep asleep, but you're elsewhere.
And you know you're there. Everything is happening.
Everything
is happening, and there's clarity, and you're listening, and contributions.
The studio was even cold. I mean, you are even feeling cold.
No, everything about it. The studio is actually quite cold. You know? Why is the studio particularly cold today? Then the meeting seemed to be, many people then, Eric says, okay, now the meeting is over. So, okay, if the meeting is over, then that's good. The meeting is over.
Our guest is constitutional lawyer Ndegwa Njiru. Good morning, Ndegwa.
Good morning, Eric. City and Oko.
Yes.
Bas, you got it.
Maybe perhaps health-wise. Other things are tough. Yeah. Other things are very tough.
Hata mfuko iko mbaya.
Things are tough. Yes.
Usijali.
The country is bankrupt. it's facing an insolvency.
Yeah, it's true, and you're not the one who's saying it.
Yes.
It's the CS who said it.
Yes, it's facing an insolvency.
Said it's liquidity.
So we will soon
We're avoiding insolvency.
We'll soon be doing what is called winding up proceedings for this country.
Oy.
So we're gonna perhaps be receiving appointing a receiver, or a bankruptcy manager. That's where we are. And you can see we are so much in need. Mpaka tunapewa pesa na Wahindi. Tunaenda kukopa Wahindi huko India, something I've never heard of.
Oh, they help us quite a bit.
You haven't?
Yes, lakini they have not come in the manner in which they have now come.
No, they've been coming to our end for the longest time.
Yes, but not when someone is in Dubai, then you decide to pay a visit to Modi, on a prompt one.
Modi must be visited, man.
To say that my people are hungry.
Modi must be visited.
Yeah.
You know, some of these problems, they sorted them out.
Yes.
Didn't your party leader visit Modi just the other day?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. But you see, this is a guy who was going for a COP28. How he ended up in Mumbai.
If your party leader was president, first visit maybe would have been to India.
Perhaps for other reasons.
If you hear a madman talking, wait a minute, and you will hear what makes people think he's mad.
If you hear a madman talking, just wait a minute.
Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry.
And you will soon hear what makes people think he's mad.
Yes. That's a proverb from Eritrea.
Unajua City, I don't know where you get these proverbs from.
Eritrea.
But was that the only proverb
Oh, no,
from Eritrea? Even yesterday I heard it was it yesterday, the one that you gave to Sabina Chege.
That was Tuesday.
Oh, that was Tuesday. Yeah.
Why don't you let me read another one? Because you think it's only one.
Oh.
Let me read another one for you.
Yeah, at least give me some multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
Or four.
All right, let me give you multiple choice. He who pursues the chicken often falls, but the chicken has to continue running.
No, let me do the first one. Let me do the first one. If the first one is...
If you hear a madman talking...
Yes.
Wait a minute. Yes, give it a minute. And you will hear what makes people think he is mad.
Yeah, I think one thing it is teaching us is about patience and tolerance. That you don't jump into conclusion just because of one person's appearance or how an individual appears. That person who appears perhaps in whatever nature he may, he could be coherent. But there could even be some very smart individuals who may not be perhaps even be suspected of being insane. But whatever is coming out of their mouth will lead you to making a conclusion that this person is not sane, is not perhaps even of a lucid moment. So tolerance perhaps is part of it, giving someone an opportunity to prove himself. That's how I understand the proverb.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So Degwa,
yes.
You think things are not...
things are not good, Eric. Things are bad.
Politically, economically?
Everything in this country.
Come on.
Everything in this country is not working.
Start from the top.
Yes.
What is top on the list for you?
The top of the list is that the head wrote, wrote kitambo sana. Do you say rotted long time ago? Or rot long time ago? Yeah, we don't. The fish does not even have any head now.
Wow.
So you can decide, or perhaps even make an assumption where the body is.
What makes you say that?
Yeah, because we are not having leadership in this country. There is nobody to give us direction in this country.
Explain.
I explain in the sense that what happened between 2018 and 2022 is not what is happening between 2022 September to now. And there is no indication that there is going to be any change. In terms of respecting our constitutionalism, in respect of our economy, and even the social cohesion in the country.
So between 2018 and 2022, we had respect for the rule of law in this country. Now we don't.
you know that you have to look at it from it's a composite position.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's from a composite position, we had respect for the rule of law.
Yes.
In this country.
Yes.
When? And now between 2018 and 2022.
But of course with some faults here and there.
No, composite.
Yes.
Composite.
It's composite.
Okay.
So when you look at the rule of law, you're also looking at the question of the social aspect and the economic aspect.
Okay.
At least between 2018 and 2022, people are not crying out as loud as they are now in terms of the economy.
The economy was doing very well.
It wasn't doing very well, but at least people are not where they are today.
And where are we today, really?
Where we are today is that the country is being dissolved. We are facing insolvency.
You know, I keep hearing that the term insolvency, and it's often with reference to business enterprises.
Yeah.
And there I understand, meaning they close, they shut down, they send, everybody.
Even receiver managers.
Yes. But what it often means is that you don't get your dues because they don't have money.
Yes.
So how can you get your dues?
You'll pay your creditors first when we are facing dissolution of the company.
So are you saying that we're in a similar situation?
Yes,
when
we
you
are.
get to insolvency, you're not even paying your creditors.
You're
not
not
paying
paying our
anybody.
creditors.
That is why
You're
now
insolvent.
You're insolvent.
Yes, yes.
And a receiver manager
And the
comes
first
to sell
creditor
your
that,
assets.
Exactly.
So
the
they
first
can
creditor
recover.
that this country has is its citizens. If you're not able to give services to your citizens, then it means that you're not in a good position.
Let me give light
Yes.
to some of this. So the CS Treasury, Jonah Dungo, was before Parliament, before the National Committee, the National Assembly Finance and National Planning Committee. And this is what he said. He said that the country is laden with liquidity issues, given the various debt burdens, and asked MPs to be patient when they're demanding their money that should come in form of NGCDF.
Yes.
Right? He went on to say that this administration is doing its best to ensure that we do not slide the country into insolvency. This is why we have to engage in a delicate balancing act with the available finances. He said the liquidity problem, however, is short-term. He said, we're signing support agreements with other countries that have been committed to supporting our budget. So this was in an answer to the planning committee when they were demanding this money and said, look, we cannot wait. He then went on to say that the reason why we've had to move some money around is because of the drought and flood mitigation issues. Now, Eric, of course, was trying to make 7 billion equals 54 billion, but, we're still on that. If money had been moved around, so if there was no El Nino, essentially, some of these issues that we are facing would not have been faced.
Yes.
But he's saying, look, we are dealing with a liquidity problem. It's a cash crunch, essentially.
Yes.
Not that Kenya is insolvent today, but just things are difficult. Take it as you may. But then he also went on to say that even payment of salaries is going to be difficult until we get these agreements into place.
Yes, he did.
Because of the huge debt burden that is then being faced by the country at the moment. It doesn't seem to be anybody's fault, really. It just seems to be one of those things that happens, the bumps that you hit in a fiscal cycle. So it's not something that can be fixed, I guess is the question. Dongo seems positive that it can be fixed and it's short term.
Yeah.
So that you shouldn't be too worried.
Yeah.
No?
In my view, CT, is that this regime has not decided to sort out the problem that this country is facing because they are driving using the rear mirror. Any issue that arises in this country that involves the status of the economy is that they're always blaming the former regime. And that's one of the reasons that the country is where we are today, is because they are not planning ahead, because they always have someone to blame. For example, when they speak about the status of the economy and the financial crunch, you'll hear them saying, it is because President Kenyatta left a lot of debts. When they go to Mondi, they are given billions of shillings. That is not counted as debt. We are having problem with people not speaking the truth of what is ailing this country.
And what, in your opinion, is ailing us?
Misgovernance, misrule, mismanagement of the country. That is what is completely ailing us. That we don't have someone who is hands-on. Mr. William Ruto is not managing this country. The country is on autopilot. People are not in touch. The government is not in touch with whatever is happening and the reality of this country.
Examples?
For example, and one of the best examples is that, and I will just give 2 or more examples. We had the importation of the edible oils.
Yeah.
We were told we are importing these edible oils to make sure that we bring the cost of living down. But at the end of the day, how many billions did Kenyans lose? To the extent, even when the committee in charge of the parliamentary committee wanted to visit those go downs, they only, I think, found 467 jerrycans from all those importations. No one is accountable of what happened. So we're having a serious problem of accountability in this country. We're having a serious problem of transparency in this country. We're having a serious problem of implementation and observation of the rule of law in this country. So basically, those are some of the things that are ailing us. Those people who are actually candid enough to come and say, excuse me, there's some problem here. For example, the control of budget. The next thing she hears is that she has a problem with a case that occurred even before she became the control of budget. So then you ask yourself, where were all those institutions that were responsible of vetting her? Where was the DCI that was supposed to vet her to make sure that we do not get bad people into governance, people with questionable character? But if you question anything in this country, then you get in the bad books. So it's a completely total breakdown of government.
So it sounds like same forest, different monkeys.
No, these monkeys are not from this forest.
So same forest, imported monkeys.
These monkeys, the ones that we now have, must have come from another forest.
Why do you say that?
Because you see, there is nothing that seems to work. At least in the previous forest with the same monkeys, or the previous monkeys with the different forest, at least something was being seen to be done. But there's absolutely nothing being seen to be done. These monkeys are just stealing bananas.
You know
No, they are not even bakishaing any banana. They are stealing all the bananas and eating all the bananas.
You know, there's a narrative that one hears in this country, and one hears it continuously.
Yes.
And that is, this government is always blaming the previous government for things that went wrong. And this blame game is nestled in the idea that, well, it's not the idea, it was what was stated by some of the leaders of this particular government,
yes,
that they found empty coffers.
Yes.
Every government, if you look at the trail, every government that we've had since independence has had a debt.
Yes.
Every.
Yes, yes.
Now, the first term of the Uhuru administration came after the Kibaki.
Exactly.
So if they were good things that the Kibaki government had achieved, that's what they inherited.
Exactly.
If there had been bad things, that is what they would have inherited.
Exactly.
So, let me bring the discussion back to the question of what the Ruto government inherited. What did they actually inherit?
For them, the only thing they are saying is that they inherited a lot of debts. But even Uhuru inherited debts, for example, in respect to the construction of the Thika Road. But Uhuru never concentrated on reminding us what he inherited. Because government is perpetual. It's a going concern. There is no time you say that now Uhuru amefikisha hapa, William ameanza hapa. Kibaki amefikisha hapa, Uhuru ameanza hapa. You remember in 2002, President Kibaki was able to take Kimani Maruge to school on a wheelchair. He was sworn on 29th of December. On 4th of December, Kimani Maruge was in school. You remember that old man?
I remember him.
Yeah. He was in school. And Kibaki never told us, because of the Moi misrule, mismanagement of the economy, Kimani Maruge is not able to attend to his universal primary school.
Okay. Now,
that is all about question of management and breathing confidence to people.
Right. So, essentially, you brought the discussion back to what Kibaki did.
Yes.
How he announced his presidency.
Yes.
He said free primary education, and people went to school.
Kimani Maruge was there. I think he was an 80 years old man.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
He was. Now, so, let's leave the words aside for a moment and look at this government.
Yeah.
What have they done? Because what have they done?
I would not pinpoint anything that this government has done. I think the only thing they have done is reading on our scoffers. that they have perfectly done. If they have not done it, then let them tell us what happened to edible oil. If they have not done it. Number two is that they are in a haste to make sure that they compensate for what their fathers never gave them. What do I mean? I mean that you can see they are in a haste to become the dynasty of 2023 onwards.
You know, I hear this, but again, a little pushback.
Yes.
Has there been any government in this country which has not been visited or has been characterized by a scandal?
No, there has never been. But you see, the problem is that the successful government that have always come to this country, they do not understand where we have come from and where we got why we enacted and promulgated the new constitution. We wanted to have a new beginning, and that is why Chapter 6 comes in handy. But
which chapter 6? The original one or the mutilated one?
The theoretical one.
Yes.
Because it's purely theoretical. And it's theoretical by purpose because they do not want to put in place
mechanisms, yes,
and mechanisms that can enhance accountability and transparency and the rule of law in this country. So until we'll get a government that will at least then implement the theoretical Chapter 6, then we'll be able to move forward. But even if previous governments have been raided with scandals, this government is worse.
How?
The way Chinua Achembe says that you have stolen until the owner has known. That's the problem we have, Eric. They're not leaving anything to chance. They are all in a haste.
Let me ask you again. I'm merely asking. If you found next to nothing,
yes,
then what was there to steal anyway?
That was an allegation. They were laying the bait.
Right, so that is what Ndegwa Njiru has to say about the economy being in shambles and who actually holds the wheels. Talking to our colleagues, Eric Latif, right there from our sister station, Spice FM. Time for another short commercial break. But remember, we still have that interview for Kimani Ichung'wah, Member of Parliament for Kikuyu and Majority Leader of the National Assembly, talking about the NADCO recommendations versus the hustler. That interview comes at 10 p.m. when we come back after this commercial break I'm taking right now here on KTN News Center.